What's up, party people, and welcome to Stoniecast number 179 and season 6, episode 5 of Thoughts and Hunches, Making Money in Bunches and Sucker Punches. It's your boy Stony coming back at you for the 179th time, and I'd like to welcome all of my fellow heathens, shady characters, criminals, hoodlums, scumbags, lowlifes, fugitives from justice, altar boys with unhealthy relationships with their priests, scoundrels, wise guys, hustlers, foul-mouthed raging alcoholics, MLB players that have got into a fight with Bryce Harper. You know who you are. Thanks for watching, by the way. Cheats, fienders with abusive language, gangsters, degenerates. Let's face it, anybody with a massive gambling problem is welcome on this show, right? And if you're new to the show, that means you probably fit into one or a few of those categories so welcome, because you're now one of us. One of us, gooba gobble, one of us, we accept it, one of us. Excuse me, sorry, get a little carried away sometimes. Hey, make sure to hit the subscribe button right down here in the lower right-hand corner and ring that bell. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever it takes, right? Anything, it's very easy. Right? That way you can get notified every time I put out a new video. And to spread the word, all you got to do is tell other degenerates, fienders, and scumbags you know, like Josh G, just to go straight to YouTube and enter Thoughts and Hunches in the search bar. That'll take you to my page so you can get dialed in to everything that I drop on you. Also, if you're new and you don't know what's what with this channel, it's pro and college football winners, MLB playoff winners, and college basketball winners. The books, they don't expect a guy like me to deliver this many winners. I'm an outlier, and I'm a disruptor. I'm like the Beastie Boys. Hey, what can I say? I disrupt.
Step inside the party, disrupt the whole scene!
That's precisely what I do. I go to the window, to the mattresses every single week, and get you the info to get you to the window with a ticket to cash. Now, before I get to the picks, as usual, I have some thoughts.
Give me all you got! Listen, give me all you got!
Never gets old. That a boy, Al. I got to start by saying rest in peace to Robert Redford, who passed away yesterday at the age of 89. Redford played many, makes me think of Police Academy. Many iconic roles, right? And that was before he became a director, a producer, an activist, the founder of the Sundance Film Festival, the Sundance Network, you name it, he did it all, right? My question is, what's your favorite role of Redford? You feel free to leave it in the comments or text me or whatever. I'm just curious as to what you'll remember Robert Redford for the most, right? Turner in 3 Days of the Condor, Sundance Kid, Jeremiah Johnson, Johnny Hooker in The Sting, Bob Woodward in All the President's Men, John Gage in Indecent Proposal, or Tom Booker in The Horse Whisperer. I mean, lots of options. But to me, he'll always be Roy Hobbs from The Natural, which came out when I was in junior high and is still one of my favorite movies. Now, moving on, but on the same topic, I'm still dumbfounded at the shocking assassination of Charlie Kirk last week. He was pronounced dead while I was recording STONIECAST 178. So I won't get into the arrest of the shooter, the celebration from the left, the people getting fired for celebrating, or anything else regarding that horrible day, right? I'm just, enough's enough. Got to keep his legacy going, though, man. That guy, incredible, right? Instead, I'm going to talk about a topic that I brought up in season 4, and then I brought it up again last year in season 5, and it's the genuine loss of common sense in football coaching. Going for it on fourth down and going for 2 after a touchdown is no longer borderline. It's now an epidemic, right? I want all football coaches at any level to listen. In the first half, you should never go for it on fourth down. Either punt the ball or take the field goal and put 3 points on the board. Same goes for going for 2. I might even take it a step further and add the third quarter to that, but the second half it's more situational than anything else, right? But if you find yourself down by 4 in the fourth quarter with 2 failed fourth downs in the first half when a field goal was a smart play and a missed 2-point conversion instead of an extra point, maybe you'll realize to play it smart and not always go for it. Roy McAvoy, Tin Cup. Sometimes par's good enough to win. Last week I said there's a reason why Buffalo is so good but never plays in the Super Bowl. It's because Sean McDermott always goes for it. Same with Detroit and the insufferable Dan Campbell. Take the points in the first half or just punt the ball and trust your defense. Period. Okay? Sorry, rant over. Now as for the week that was, I started the week well by hitting both games on Thursday night, but I dropped both games on Friday, so I went into Saturday 2-2 with a long way to go. A good start of 3-1 in the first wave, followed by 2-3 in the afternoon, led to 3-1 in the evening and a split in the 2 late games, but I did hit both sides of the fight with plus money. Crawford to win at plus 140 and Crawford by a decision at plus 200 to close out Saturday with a solid 11-6 day and 3 sprinkles. That's right. And Sunday rolled around and I really stepped my game up there, right? 8-1 in the 1 p.m. starts, with Miami being my only loser. Put the books on notice, period. A 1-2 in the afternoon wasn't good, but I hit the Sunday night game and went 1-1 on Monday night to finish 12-4 in the NFL for the week, right? That's just a mind-numbing 75%. In the words of Kirk Cousins, you like that?
You like that? You like that?
That's right, Kirk. You tell him. Something like that, right? Now let's take a peek at the numbers. Last week, 24 wins, 12 losses. 66.67%. Yep. Moving on up, George Jefferson style, to the east side. NCAA football for the season now. 35 wins, 27 losses, 1 push. 56.45%. Again, moving up every single week. NFL for the season, 19 wins, 12 losses, 1 push, 61.29%. A huge week just sends numbers soaring. Degenerate special, I'm now 4-2 on the season, 66.67%. Thursday night, 4-3 on the season, 57.14%. Sunday night, 1 win, 1 loss, 1 push, 50%. Monday night, 2-2, 50%. So overall, every pick that I've given you so far in all the STONIECASTS this season, 54 wins, 39 losses, 2 pushes, 58.06%, up from 52 last week, right? Now that can only mean one thing.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
The goal there is 58%, 57.5 is the goal every year. So I'm at 58 already. That's a good sign. Last year I finished at 59, but 57.5 is excellent. 59 is ridiculous, like last year was. Now, once again, please remember that all of these picks are 100% free. So for all those touts out there that are charging you for picks, and only giving you always giving you 75 to 80% winners. Come on, stop. We know you're full of shit. Plus, you're charging for these picks.
Oh!
I mean, come on. How does that happen? With me, it's very simple. All you got to do is just come to YouTube every week and I'll drop my plays on you for free. You ready? Away we go. Episode number 5. Al?
Just win, baby.
That's right. Let's move on. Tomorrow, 7:30 Eastern on ESPN at Jerry Richards Stadium in Charlotte. Rice enters as a 2.5-point road chalk at Charlotte and the total set at 42.5. In this AAC matchup, Rice is 2-1 with their loss coming to Houston, while Charlotte's 1-2 with their only win being last week over Monmouth. Rice is a rushing power led by Quentin Johnson, and Charlotte's defense is a mess right now. So I'm on the Owls here on the road, laying the 2 and a hook to start the week. NFL action tomorrow night, 8:15 Eastern at Highmark Stadium in Buffalo. The 2-0 Bills are 12.5-point home favorites versus 0-2 Miami, and the total's 49.5. The Bills have wins over the Ravens and Jets, while the Finns have losses to the Colts and Patriots. After looking like shit in their opener, Miami at least got their offense in gear last week, but their defense gave up 33 points to New England, which is just unacceptable. Houston coach Mike McDaniel may be looking for did I say Houston? Miami head coach Mike McDaniel may be looking for a job soon, period, right? And a trip to Buffalo certainly ain't going to help. 71 points in 2 games for the Josh Allen-led offense, and they ain't slowing down. But I do have questions about Buffalo's defense, severe questions about their defense and their coaching. I've taken the Dolphins twice this year, and I'm 0-2. Screw that. Buffalo minus 12.5 is the play here. Just can't do it a third time. Friday night, 8 Eastern on Big Fox at SHI Stadium in Piscataway. Iowa's a 2.5-point road favorite at Rutgers, and the total's 45.5. Iowa's 2-1 with 2 wins over Cupcakes and a loss to Iowa State in the Cy-Hawk Bowl. And Rutgers is 3-0, but their only good win was in their opener over Ohio, and even that's, it's Ohio. 2 blowouts since has quarterback Ethan Kaliakmanis feeling himself right now. Iowa just can't score, and they certainly can't throw it. They run it just fine, but right here, I'm going to take Rutgers at home, catching the 2.5 with a sprinkle on the money line.
Sprinkle me, man.
Attaboy, 40. Way to come with it. And just because it's an Iowa game, got to take the under again. So that's 2 separate plays. That's Rutgers. Technically, it's 3 plays. Rutgers plus 2.5 with a sprinkle and the under. Let's move on to another wild Saturday, right? And let's get it all started. Noon Eastern on ESPN at the Liberty Bowl in Memphis. Arkansas comes in as 7.5-point road favorites at Memphis, and the total's listed at 63.5. Arkansas had 2 easy wins until last week, where they were with Ole Miss late, but ultimately fell to 2-1. Memphis is 3-0 with wins over Chattanooga, Georgia State, and Troy. None of those really tell us anything, but one thing we know is that both of these teams can score. I expect this one to be a shootout early at the Liberty Bowl, and Memphis can keep up. So I'm going to take the Tigers here at home with the 7 and a chunk. Noon Eastern, Rice-Eccles Stadium in Salt Lake Stony. 16th ranked Utah is a 3.5-point home favorite versus number 17 Texas Tech, and the total's 57.5. Good matchup. A couple of 3-0 schools with eyes on the Big 12 title meet up right here at Rice-Eccles, as Tech boasts blowout wins over Arkansas, Pine Bluff, Kent State, and Oregon State, while Utah has easy W's over UCLA, Cal Poly, and Wyoming. None of those opponents are worth the shit. And this one's got the makings of a good one between 2 good teams, both with solid defenses. I'm a huge fan of Kyle Whittingham, but Joey McGuire's doing something special right now in his 4th year in Lubbock. So I'm on the Red Raiders here, catching 3.5 on the road with a sprinkle.
Sprinkle me, man. Sprinkle me.
Attaboy. Good job, 40. Keep them coming. Noon Eastern, ESPN, Amon G. Carter Stadium in Fort Worth. TCU is a 6.5-point home favorite over SMU, and the total 64.5 in the 104th battle for the Iron Skillet. TCU has wins over North Carolina and Abilene Christian, while SMU's only meaningful game was a loss at home to Baylor, in which SMU blew a 10-point fourth-quarter lead at home. SMU quarterback Kevin Jennings and TCU's Josh Hoover are both delivering right now. And this one always seems to go over, so that's where I'm landing. SMU, TCU, over 64.5. Noon Eastern on NBC at Camp Randall in Madison. 2-1, Wisconsin is a 10-point home favorite over 3-0 Maryland, and the total's 43.5. Wisconsin started 2-0 before getting beaten up in Tuscaloosa last Saturday, and one of my many wins. Al?
Hoo-ah!
Yeah, one of my many wins. You're welcome for that, by the way. Maryland's 3-0 while not being tested at all, but now they kick off their Big Ten schedule in Madtown. Maryland's spectacular freshman quarterback Malik Washington gets his first ever road game against a team that is better than the Terps, and he's going to have his hands full. Wisconsin's defense is big and talented, hence the big number. But I'm not sold on the Badgers' offense, especially quarterback Danny O'Neal. I'm on Maryland here, catching 10 on the road. 3 Eastern on the Big Ten Network at Autzen Stadium in Eugene. 6th-ranked Oregon's a massive 35.5-point home favorite versus Oregon State. And the total is 55.5. In the 129th Civil War. Love the Civil War. Great games over the years. It's the 5th longest rivalry in the FBS because the campuses are only 45, 50 minutes apart, right? Oregon's 3-0, and they're looking every bit like a national title contender, even slowed down in the fourth quarter last week to allow Northwestern through the back door for another one of my winners.
Hoo-ah!
Yep, something like that. That's where you're welcome. OSU is a complete catastrophe, and they've allowed an average of 38 points per game so far, while absolutely struggling. Joe.
Struggling.
One more time, Joe, for good luck.
Struggling.
Just like that. Now the Beavers have a hated rival who has no qualms about running up the score. This one may seem like a lot, and it is, 35.5. But I see the Quack Attack hanging 60 on the Beavs. Oregon minus 35.5. Shit, it hurts to even say it. But that's where we're going. 3:30 Eastern on Big Fox at the Bounce House in Orlando. 2-0 Central Florida's a 6.5-point home chalk over 2-1 North Carolina, and the total's 47.5. Combined, these two schools have 4 wins against junior high school marching bands, and we all saw with our own eyes Carolina get boat raced in their opener by TCU. Carolina may have a good defense, but UCF's is better, and offensively it's no contest. The Knights will run it with 3 different backs, and quarterback Taven Jackson is smart and reliable. UCF is the play here, minus 6.5 at home. 3:30 Eastern on ESPN at the Grove in Oxford. 13th ranked Ole Miss is an 11.5-point home favorite versus Tulane, and the total set at 61.5. Ole Miss is 3-0 with wins over Georgia State, Kentucky, and Arkansas, while Tulane has taken out Northwestern, South Alabama, and Duke. Jake Retzlaff has played well for Tulane since transferring from BYU after admitting that he got laid, which everyone does in college, and violates the student honor code in Provo. Now for the Rebels, quarterback Austin Simmons got banged up 2 weeks ago, and he left early against Arkansas last week, while Trinidad Chambliss filled in and was solid. Simmons is back now, so I'm going to roll with Ole Miss for the 3rd straight week, where I'm 1-1, and lay the 11.5 at home. Saturdays in the South with the 3 Fs, faith, family, and football. They begin at 3:30 Eastern on ABC at the Gaylord in Norman, where 11th ranked Oklahoma is a 6.5-point home favorite over number 22 Auburn, and the total's 48.5. Auburn beat Baylor in week 1, and Oklahoma beat Michigan in week 2. Other than that, neither school has beaten anyone worthwhile. Auburn quarterback Jackson Arnold has been solid, but Oklahoma's John Mateer has been excellent. He's quite possibly been the best quarterback in the nation so far. Auburn featureback Jeremiah Cobb is the truth, and he takes the pressure off of Arnold. I like Oklahoma to get the win, but I'm on Auburn here, possibly through the back door. War Eagle plus 6.5. 3:30 Eastern on CBS at Memorial Stadium in the land of Lincoln. 21st ranked Michigan's a 2.5-point road favorite at Nebraska, and the total's 45.5. Michigan's lone loss was the lone good team they've played, and they've beaten up New Mexico and Central Michigan last week in another one of my many winners.
Hoo-ah!
Yeah, that's right, Al, and you're welcome for that. Nebraska's 3-0, and they've had 2 cakewalks after a tough win at Cincinnati in their opener. This is a very intriguing quarterback matchup, and Dylan Raiola for the Huskers and freshman stud Bryce Underwood for Michigan. I like Underwood a lot, but I like Raiola more right now, and I really like Nebraska's defense better. I'm going to roll with the Huskers here at home, catching 2.5 with a little sprinkle on the money line.
Sprinkle me, man.
Attaboy, 40. Keep them coming, baby. 6 Eastern on FS1 at the Booth in Lawrence. 2-1 Kansas is a 13.5-point home favorite over 2-1 West Virginia, and the total's 55.5. KU got their first loss 2 weeks ago at Missouri in the border war, while West Virginia bounced back from their loss at Ohio with an impressive come-from-behind win in the backyard brawl over Pitt last Saturday. Mountaineer quarterback Nico Markiel isn't bad, but he makes mistakes, and he's without back Jaheim White going forward. Jayhawk quarterback Jalen Daniels, though, is exciting and productive, but I'm not laying 13.5. Instead, I'm taking. No, I wasn't laying. I'm taking. Smarten up. Know the reference. Josh knows it. West Virginia plus 13.5. 7 Eastern on ESPN in the Battle of the Columbias. Memorial Stadium, 23rd ranked Missouri's an 11.5-point home favorite versus South Carolina, and the total's 46.5. Mizzou's a dangerous squad in the SEC this year, and they're only getting better. They're 3-0 after wins over Central Arkansas, Kansas, and Louisiana. Quarterback Bo Perbula is only getting better. South Carolina, on the other hand, they lost super quarterback Lenora Sellers in last week's loss to Vanderbilt, and former wideout Luke Doty came in, and he took over. It didn't work. South Carolina all of a sudden is reeling. Missouri has to be the play here and lay the big number at home. I can't take South Carolina until they show me something. 7:30 Eastern on Big Fox at McLean Stadium in Waco. 2-1 Baylor's a short 2.5-point home favorite over 2-1 Arizona State, and the total set at 59.5. Baylor bounced back from their opening loss to Auburn by taking out SMU and Samford, while Arizona State's lone loss was 2 weeks ago amid the Cowbells in Starkville. Baylor's going to put it up, and quarterback Sawyer Robinson will sling it all over the field. And while I like Sun Devil quarterback Sam Leavitt, ASU runs it and runs it well. So while I like Baylor, in this spot, I like ASU more. So I'm on the Sun Devils here, plus 2.5 with a sprinkle.
Sprinkle me, man.
Attaboy. Saturday, 7:30 Eastern on CBS at Martin Stadium in Pullman. 2-0 Washington's a 20.5-point road chalk at 2-1 Washington State, and the total's 53 in the 117th Apple Cup. I love that these two schools continue to play each other, even with Washington in the Big Ten now. Love it. UW has wins over Colorado State and UC Davis, while Wazoo started 2-0 before getting crushed last week at North Texas. The Cougars shot themselves in the foot last week during that game with 4 first-half turnovers, and this one was over by halftime. Washington is bigger and more physical, but this is a big ask to lay 3 touchdowns on the road in a rivalry. So because of that, I'm on the Cougars here, plus 20.5. A good one in the Big Ten goes at 7:30 Eastern on NBC at Memorial Stadium in Bloomington. 19th ranked Indiana's a 4.5-point home favorite over number 9 Illinois, and the total's 52.5. Both schools are undefeated. Neither has really been tested. Indiana's offense exploded the last 2 weeks by hanging 56 on Kennesaw State and 73 on Indiana State. Now things get tougher. And these two rivals begin their Big Ten slates. Both quarterbacks are good and they don't turn the ball over, and both can run it. But this game, like most, will be won in the trenches. And I like the Illini defensive front more than Indiana's. I'll take Illinois here on the road, catching 4.5. 7:30 Eastern on ABC at Hard Rock Stadium in Bienvenidos a Miami. Fourth-ranked Miami is a 7.5-point home chalk over 1-2 Florida, and the total's 51.5. Miami took out Notre Dame in their opener, and last week they beat up a pretty good South Florida squad, the same team that beat Florida in the swamp just 2 weeks ago. Florida followed that up with a good defensive performance in Colin Baton Rouge last week, but quarterback DJ Lagway's 5 interceptions did the Gators in. No favors whatsoever. Miami's looked every bit like the national power they were supposed to be this year. And right now the stock is very low on Florida. So with that being said, Miami wins, but the Gators cash tickets at plus 7.5. 7:30 Eastern on ACC Network at Scott Stadium in Charlottesville. 2-1 Virginia is a 15.5-point home favorite versus 1-2 Stanford, and the total's 49.5. Virginia has one loss at NC State 2 weeks ago, while Stanford got off the schneid with their first win last week over Boston College in another one of my very many winners.
Hoo-ah!
That a boy, Al. Anytime you're ready, just blurt it out. Know that reference. Whenever you're ready, they know. Just blurt it out. You're welcome. Travel is a major issue for the Bay Area schools in the ACC. And Stanford has a very long trip to Charlottesville. Virginia's 1-2 punch of quarterbacks Chandler Morris and back Jamari Taylor have been excellent so far, and they should have their way here with the Cardinal defense. I'm on the Cavaliers here, laying the big number, but Cavs minus 15.5. 10:30 Eastern on CBS Sports Network at Snapdragon Stadium in San Diego. 3-0 Cal is a 12.5-point road favorite at 1-1 San Diego State, and the total's 48.5. Cal has been surprisingly good so far in posting wins over Oregon State, Texas Southern, and Minnesota, while San Diego State's lone win was over the school that was named after me, and that's Stony Brook. Cal is faster, much bigger, and freshman quarterback Jaron. This is a tough one. And I still don't know if I'm getting it right, but it's Jaron Kiwe Sagapolutele. I'm pretty sure Sagapolutele is right. But he's looked phenomenal. He's been a revelation in Berkeley, the armpit of America, and I think that's going to continue on Saturday night. Cal here, minus 12.5. And lastly, this week's Degenerate Special goes at 11 Eastern at the Coliseum in La La Land, where number 25 USC is 18.5-point home favorite over Michigan State, and the total's 55.5. Neither team has beaten anybody of significance. And I had USC last week when they failed to cover in West Lafayette. SC has the athletes, and quarterback Jaden Maeva, he's been very good. But MSU quarterback Aiden Childs is a battler. And he's got Mekhi Frazier right behind him, toting the rock. This is a big number. And I don't have any confidence in either team going forward. But while I think SC gets the win, Sparty gets the cover in the late night get right. Yeah, okay, that's a lot of college plays this week. But when I see something I like, I pounce. Period. And after a great NFL run last week, let's start NFL Week 3 Sunday at 1 Eastern on CBS at Everbank Stadium in Duval County. 1-1 Jacksonville is a 1-point home favorite over 0-2 Houston, and the total's 44.5. Jacksonville knocked off Carolina to start the season, and they fell apart in their loss to Cincinnati last week. Houston has not looked good. Granted, they faced two playoff teams in the Ram Chops and the Bucks, but while the Jags were busy playing patsies, right? Houston's highly overrated, but they aren't an 0-3 team. Sorry, Jack. I just can't do it. But I'm all over the Texans this week, +1 with a sprinkle on the money line.
Big timer. 40 water.
Come on.
Sprinkle me, man.
That a kid. 40 water. Got to get that 40 water. 1 Eastern on Fox at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte. 1-1 Atlanta's a 6-point road favorite at 0-2 Carolina, and the total set at 43.5. The Falcons rebounded from their opening loss at home to Tampa Bay with a win on Sunday night in Stoniecastas, where they dominated the Vikings. Carolina's 0-2 with losses at Jacksonville and a backdoor cover in Glendale last week, so they finally get a home game. Carolina's offense hasn't been good, period. And Atlanta, they seem content to shoot themselves in the foot whenever they get into the red zone. Michael Penix Jr. has been fine, but the Falcons' bread and butter is their power rushing attack with Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier, who went off on Monday night. Both of them did. Carolina has to get their offense in gear, and while I don't think they win this one, Atlanta loves settling for field goals, and you can't win and cover a lot of numbers like that. I'll take the Panthers and the 6 at home. 1 Eastern on Fox at Northwest Stadium in Landover. 1-1 Washington's a 3.5-point home favorite over the 1-1 Raiders, and the total's 44.5. Washington beat the Giants in week 1 and lost to Green Bay last week in another one of my winners.
Hoo-ah!
Yep, something like that. You're welcome. The Raiders got beat by New England to start the season, and then they got knocked off at home by the Chargers on Monday night. Guess what? That was another one of my winners. That was a good one, Al. I could do this a lot, so I'm going to go easy, right? Because I had such a huge week, I could just keep giving you Al, all right? Washington can't run the ball. And Jaden Daniels, as good as he is, can't carry this offense as they're going to take a step back from last season. Like I said they would. But now the receivers are healthy. They're in camp. And they're looking better. Right? The Raiders' rookie back, Ashton Genty, is legit. But I still have questions about turnover machine Geno Smith, who leads the NFL in interceptions since the start of 2022 season. A loss at home on Monday night to be followed by a cross-country trip ain't going to end well for the Raiders, even with Daniels dealing with a bum knee. Skins minus 3.5. 1 Eastern on Fox at the Sombrero in Tampa. The 2-0 Buccaneers are 7-point home favorites versus the 0-2 Jets, and the total's 44.5. Tampa continues to win close games while not looking all that great. Without a running game, Baker Mayfield, Jay Staff's boy, has led the Bucs to wins over Atlanta and over Houston on Monday night in spectacular come-from-behind fashion on the road, while he's quietly becoming the most clutch quarterback in the NFL right now, though nobody wants to admit it. The Jets are a mess. Losses to Pittsburgh and Buffalo so far, and now Justin Fields doesn't look like he's going to go this week because he's in concussion protocol. That means Tyrod Taylor. He's played everywhere. And that also means maybe the Jets can move the ball better than they can with Fields at the helm. I'm going to take the Jets here with Taylor, right? Catching the touchdown on the road because Tampa doesn't blow anybody out. They just don't. 1 Eastern on the Fox at the Link in Stoniecastas. 2-0 Eagles are 3.5-point home favorites over the 2-0 Ram Chops, and the total's 45. As the defending Super Bowl champs, Philly's schedule is brutal, and they're going to face this all season long. But they've already survived Dallas at home and last week at Kansas City. La La Land won ugly twice over Houston and Tennessee. The Eagles know who they are, and they lean on it. Justin Hurts isn't going to throw it 40 times because he doesn't need to. They don't blow you out because they don't have to. Philly runs the ball more than any team in the NFL, and they do it exceptionally well. The Ram Chops, they can't run the ball either. And Matt Stafford looks for Devontae Adams on every single drop back. Last week I saw them first and goal at the Titans' 8-yard line. Stafford threw 3 straight incompletions to Adams before settling for a field goal. It's embarrassing watching this. The Rams are good, but come on. Philly is the play at home. What is it with Philly right now? Not just the Eagles, but the Eagles and the Phillies. I think the Eagles have the best roster in the NFL. And I think from 1 to 9, the Phillies have the best roster in Major League Baseball. Just saying. Just saying. 1 Eastern on CBS at Shaving Cream Stadium in Foxborough. 1-1 Pittsburgh's a 1.5-point road favorite at 1-1 New England. The total's 44.5. Pittsburgh took out the Jets in their opener, but they lost at home to Seattle last week, while the Pats rebounded from their opening loss to the Raiders by winning in Miami last week. The real Aaron Rodgers stood up last week in a miserable performance, but nobody expects him to be good, right? Watching the Steelers, we expect a power running game and the most expensive defense in the NFL to step up. Right now, they're not getting either, which is very odd for a Mike Tomlin coach team. I like New England, but not that much. I'm going to roll with the Steelers here on the road, laying the point in a chalk. 1 Eastern on CBS at US Bank Stadium in Stoniapolis. The 1-1 Vikings are 3-point home chalk versus 2-0 Cincinnati, and the total's 41.5. Joe Burrow versus J.J. McCarthy. Yeah, not happening. Injuries. They're both out. So instead, we get Jake Browning versus Carson Wentz. Yep, that Carson Wentz. Since he has they've got wins over Cleveland and Jacksonville, while Minnie took out the Bears but lost to Atlanta. Minnie has the better ground attack and the better defense, so I'm going to go with the Vikings, -3 at home as the play. Give me a second here, excuse me. Needed that. Right on. 1 Eastern on CBS, right up the road, about 15 minutes from here. Nissan Stadium in Music City, USA. The 2-0 Colts are 3.5-point road favorites at the 0-2 Titans, and the total's listed at 43.5. Indy has wins over Miami and Denver, while Tennessee lost to Denver and the Ram Chops. Daniel Jones has been a revelation for Shane Steichen in Indy, and he's playing really well. While Cam Ward, despite being the number 1 pick, is going through rookie bumps behind a really bad offensive line. The Titans haven't played badly. In fact, they played well in the first half of both games. But with young teams, they fall apart in the second. I'm going to take them here, though. I like them. I'm going to take them catching 3 and a hook at home because that hook could loom large. 1 Eastern on Fox at the Dog Pound in Cleveland. 2-0 Green Bay's 8-point road chalk at the 0-2 Browns, and the total's 42. The Pack have notched wins over Detroit and Washington, while the Brownies were taken out by both Cincinnati and Baltimore. Green Bay has been the most impressive team in the NFL after 2 weeks, right? They got a roster that's absolutely stacked with young talent, and none of them are getting paid because they're all so young, right? Outside of Jordan Love and Micah Parsons, they're not paying anybody. Now, Cleveland's got a very good defense, but they're clueless offensively, right? 8 is a big number to lay on the road, even with the efficient Packer offense. I'm on the Browns here at home with the 8. 4 Eastern on CBS at Lumen Field in Seatown. Shout out Mix-a-Lot. The 1-1 Seahawks are 7.5-point home favorites over the 0-2 Saints, and the total's 41.5. Seattle lost to the 49ers, but rebounded to take out the Steelers last week on the road, while the Saints get their 3rd straight game against the NFC West after losing to both Arizona and San Francisco. Sam Darnold has been so-so as the Seahawks quarterback, but Seattle is built to run the ball with their 2-man wrecking crew of Kenneth Walker III and Zach Charbonnet, who really haven't got it going yet, although last week they were better. Some people are already predicting the Saints are going to go 0-17 this year, and they're going to lose this one too. I'm going to lay the big number. Seahawks -7.5. 4 Eastern on CBS at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood. Always up to no good. The 2-0 Chargers are 2.5-point home favorites over 1-1 Denver, and the total's 46. The Chargers had their 3rd straight game in division to start the season, and everyone's looking up at them right now after wins over Kansas City in Brazil and Monday night in Las Vegas. Denver took out Tennessee in their opener, but fell to Indy last Sunday. Denver's defense is legit. Bo Nix, while improving, is prone to mistakes, but the addition of a healthy J.K. Dobbins has really helped the Broncos. San Diego's looking good, and Justin Herbert is looking like an MVP candidate, but their defense is really good, underappreciated, and constantly improving, just in the mold of Jim Harbaugh. Until the Chargers fall, I'm going to keep rolling with them. San Diego. Yeah, I said San Diego. -2.5. 4:25 Eastern on Fox at 501 Gene Stadium in the Silicon Valley. 2-0 San Francisco is a 1.5-point home favorite versus 2-0 Arizona, and the total set at 43.5. The Niners took out Seattle and New Orleans, while the Cards notched wins over the Saints and Panthers. Arizona gets their first true test against a rival on the road, while the 49ers are now in the Mac Jones era at quarterback with Brock Purdy on the shelf, and it's the Niners' first home game. Every week, the 49ers injury report is just stacked, while Arizona's played well, if not unspectacular, against two really bad teams. Can Mac outplay Kyler Murray here? Nope. I don't think so. I'm going to take the Cards here on the road, even with a banged-up secondary. Catching the 1.5, Arizona's the play with a sprinkle.
Sprinkle me, man.
Attaboy, 40. 4:25 Eastern on Fox at Soldier Field in the Windy City. The 0-2 Bears are 1-point home favorite over 1-1 Dallas, and the total's 50. Chicago finally goes outside their division after losses to Minnesota and Detroit, while Dallas also leaves the NFC East after losing to Philly but beating the Giants last week. The Bear defense hasn't been good, as they were supposed to be, right? And neither has Caleb Williams. He's been awful. Dallas has looked good twice, and Dak Prescott has looked very good. This is a tough spot for the boys, though, so I'm going to take the Bears here for some stupid reason, and I'm going to lay the point at home. After waiting all day for Sunday night, God bless you, Kerry. 8:20 Eastern on NBC at Snoopyville in New Jersey. Two winless teams meet up as Kansas City's 6.5-point road favorites at the Giants, and the total's 45.5. The Chiefs have losses to the Chargers in Brazil and at home last week to Philly, while the Giants were taken out by Washington and Dallas. So far, through 2 weeks, Patrick Mahomes and Russell Wilson lead their respective teams in rushing, which is sad. Both sides are going to have to try and establish some sort of running game because they can't keep putting it up 40 times every week. Neither team can sustain that. The Chiefs, though, are going to get off the schneid with their first win over a bad Giants team. But if history's taught us anything, the Chiefs win, but they don't cover. Give me the Giants catching 6.5 at home. And finally, to close out the week on Monday night at 8:15 Eastern on ABC at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, the 1-1 Ravens are 6-point home favorites over 1-1 Detroit, and the total's 51.5. Good matchup. Both squads lost their openers and came back to pound their Week 2 opponents. Both teams are balanced. The Ravens' star power is frightening with their 1-2 punch of Lamar Jackson and King Derrick Henry, while Detroit's two backs, Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, only help Jared Goff's effectiveness. This has the makings of a really good one, and while I like the Ravens to get the win, I like Detroit here to cash the ticket, possibly even through the back door. So that's all 16 NFL plays, every one of them, to go along with 21 college matchups, giving me a total of 37 for the week. 21 wins would be fine for me, but any more than that is just going to make me the man. And it's going to make a statement going forward. Lots more action coming next week, so keep your eye out for STONIECAST 180, which will drop next Wednesday. So until then, remember that if you want to win big, you got to catch big. You got to bet big. I like that. Scared money don't make money. You can't go broke taking a profit. And the new one, the less you bet, the more you lose when you win. Shout out Chris the Bear FALLICA. For me, the action is the juice. The difference between making money and winning is anyone can win betting chalk, but you can't make money unless you take the dogs. There's money on the streets that can't be ignored. And finally, good luck to you. Yep, still miss you, Gooch, my brother. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk, and rest in peace, Robert Redford.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.